Great awakening, light lords, and grand rising to those who have not yet awoken to the knowledge of self, to know thyself, to know who you actually are, to know who they actually are. Today we're going to be talking about quantum reality and how many different realities, different parts of yourself actually exist simultaneously. And the only reason you experience the self that you have now is because you have consciously manipulated energies in your existence, or manipulated the energies of your astrological self, your quantum self, your cosmic body, in order to experience this current reality. So if you look up the word quantum, you will find that it means an analogous, a discrete amount of something, meaning that anything that you can take and compare to another thing, the energies between them, the comparison between them is what makes them quantum. So this is basically saying, this is just a scientific term for correspondence, the law of correspondence. As above, so below. Everything that's happening above is happening below. Everything that's happening within is happening without. That's all it means. Quantum is correspondence. That's all the word quantum means. So when you say quantum reality, or when people say quantum and they're just trying to sound scientific and they're just trying to say quantum, or they're trying to sound more intelligent when they say the word quantum, it just means correspondent. It means something. It means a comparison between things. It means an analogy. That's what it means. So when you can compare yourself to something, when you can compare the distinguishable aspects between something, the distinct aspects between something and yourself, then you know that you have a correspondence. You have a relation to one another. The other thing that you compare yourself to, you have a relationship with that thing, which means you're in a quantum entanglement. You're entangled with the thing. And so when you look at this from a deeper perspective, you can actually do this with anything. You can actually do this with basically anything in reality, period. Anything in reality you can do this with. That's why subatomic particles the study of subatomic particles is called quantum mechanics, or quantum physics, because it's actually the study of how everything is connected. It's the study of how everything is connected. And everything means you. So you have to look deeper into what we're actually doing every day. What are you actually doing? You see what I'm saying? People say they're bored. If you're bored, all of this stuff is moving. All this stuff is moving. All this stuff is doing things. When you go out in nature, you see everything doing what it's supposed to be doing. You see ants, you know what I'm saying, working. You see mosquitoes going to get blood or laying eggs. You see, you know what I'm saying, worms in the ground crawling around doing whatever they're supposed to be doing. You see wasps building nests. You see raccoons and squirrels and all different types of animals, you know what I'm saying, just going back and forth, constantly moving, constantly doing what they're supposed to be doing, cats and all of that. Everything is doing what it's supposed to be doing. But you can say you're bored, or you can say you're lazy, or you can say you're procrastinating because you don't know your purpose. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing, because your nature, your embedded astrological energy, or your cosmic body has been programmed with obstacles to overcome through its nature. It's been programmed with obstacles to overcome because your nature as a human being, this is what it all boils down to, as a quantum human being, being connected with everything, being the seat of God, the seat of the soul, seat of the cosmic body. You being a human being, your nature is to create obstacles in order to overcome them. Your nature is literally to weave through strands of DNA and pick out recessive genes that are not beneficial for existence. And this is an infinite task, which means you are an infinite being. Quantum reality denotes no beginning nor end. You see, there's a law of conservation of energy, of thermodynamics, that states energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed from one form to another. See what I'm saying? We've been knowing this because we've always existed. Once you find out that things always exist, once you get to a point where you can read any story or think about anything, and you try to think about farther and farther and farther, you know what I'm saying, back and back and back, it never ends. You know what I'm saying? You try to date, you can date. They try to carbon date. People try to carbon date. Some people that do carbon dating, they carbon date things, but that only goes back so far. And even if you make another instrument that can date something back even further, it's gonna keep going. It's the same way. It's just like this. I like it like this. I like it. It's analogous to this. You can make a microscope, right? They can see smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Somebody can make a telescope that can see farther and farther and farther and farther and farther. But no matter what, there's never going to be a limit to how small you can, to how much you can zoom in on things, and to how much you can zoom out and see things, or zoom in farther away to see things. There'll never be a limit. There's never a limit. There's never a limit. Limits are conceptualizations. Limits are concepts in the human mind, not actualizations. The actual reality that exists is that you are consciousness. Consciousness is infinite. Consciousness is the energy that cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed from one form to another. And this consciousness that you truly are, this consciousness that you are, God, this consciousness that you are, it goes through many different cycles. It goes through many different incarnations. It goes through many different ways of living. Infinite ways of living. And this is just an infinite movie that never began nor end. It's like a movie reel where there is no beginning clip, and there is no ending clip. There's only different cycles of how the clips keep going. There's only different cycles of how those clips keep transferring into other clips, and the movie keeps going. And the bodies are all the different bodies and all the different ways of how their energy, how that movie is playing out. And the projectors are constantly transforming as well to fit the clips. You see what I'm saying? It's a very mechanical thing that's going on here. It's very mechanical. It's very mechanized. It's higher level intelligence. It's the most high intelligence. It's actually the imagination of the most intelligent being, which you really truly are. You're just a finite expression of it, a finite visualization of it. You see what I'm saying? Conceptualized, not actualized. Actually, you are a quantum being. See what I'm saying? You are a quantum being. You are a conceptualization of a finite being who's actually connected and existing simultaneously as an infinite being. Once you begin to notice this, you can't ain't nothing gonna be able to stop you in your way. If you constantly thinking this over and over and over again, you constantly thinking, dang, I'm an infinite being. Like, what the, like, dude, crazy. This is crazy. Like, even if you don't initially have facts, this is the thing. This is why this is very important, Reflections. This is why this is very important, Light Lords. Even if you do not initially have the facts, if you just continually keep telling yourself, I am an infinite being, I'm an all-knowing being, I am unconditionally loving, you know, all of these things that they quote unquote give to God or a higher consciousness or divine beings, then you will begin to materialize or attract situations that tell you, send signals to your five senses that you are that. And you will begin to actually manifest logical facts behind it. See what I'm saying? So you don't have to have the facts for everything. This mission came from nothing. So you don't have to start with anything. You make something out of nothing. That's what we do, right? That's what we do. We always in the streets, you know what I'm saying? If you a street person, you know what I'm talking about. We always say, man, make something out of nothing, man. We can make something out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because you came out of nothing. You just here. You know what I'm saying? How do you know you were actually born? How do you know you was actually born? You just popped up in here. People told you that. You saw that through your five senses. You saw babies getting born through your five senses, but how do you know that's actually happening? When your brain is only when you only experiencing 5% of reality. You only really experiencing 5% of reality, and 1% of visible light. 1% of light is visible. So what's actually happening? Is this just a representation of something that's happening? Is this reality a representation or a metaphorical thing? Like, is this a story? Is what like we make on TV and television, or are these movies or these morale books that we write, and these cartoons, these kids stories and stuff like that? What is this reality actually them? What? Well, hold up. So you telling me, Ja, Lord Ja, hold up. Lord Ja, hold up. You telling me that because this reality is quantum, we are an infinite consciousness and we're imagining a story? But as we imagine this story, it's actually representing certain thoughts. It's actually representing another reality. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that everything that we see, everything that you see happening through your five senses, however many senses, it is just a representation of what's happening in the mind of the cosmic body, the cosmic creature that you actually are, your higher self. Okay? Your infinite body, your void self, your imagination, your mind, all is mental. The all is what you actually are. Allah, God, true divinity is what you actually are. You are just imagining all of these different realities. You see, in the quantum reality, or the corresponding reality, which we're actually in, there's multiple different realities. You see, in quantum entanglement, if you study quantum entanglement, quantum particles can be entangled no matter how far they are away from one another. If one particle moves away, the other particle will automatically move the exact same way, in the exact same way. So if all particles are like that, if all subatomic particles are like that, then that means that all the subatomic particles are moving the exact same way. And you will look around and you be like, dang, so if all the subatomic particles are moving the exact same way, then how does all this different stuff get manifested? How is there so much multiplicity? How is there so many different things if all the particles are moving the same way? Because they're moving the same way on a scale of polarity and vibration. Everything is moving according to perception. Okay? These are natural laws. You go back through my YouTube, you know what I'm saying, recap all the natural laws. You got to connect them all because they're all one. There's 7 principles. The truth is 7. Okay? So, all subatomic particles are doing the exact same thing. You as a human, you're doing the same thing other humans doing. You're just doing it with a different perspective. And that different perspectives manifest realities or situations to happen so that you can respond to that perspective, be receptive to your own energy. That's all it is. The cosmic being is just being perceptive to his own energy. He's just making his own energy. He's making his own reality. He's making his own multiple realities. You see, with this human capacity, we're not thinking the way, you know what I'm saying, we're getting there, but we're not thinking exactly in the way that Allah is thinking. We're not thinking exactly and precisely in the way that the divine being is thinking. You see what I'm saying? And we don't realize what we're actually doing. Humanity doesn't realize what it's doing. So my purpose is to come here and teach how we are God. Teach knowledge of self and live out and teach higher wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Live out, teach higher wisdom as an example for the collective consciousness. That's what like people like me are here to do. Period. No matter how they come, no matter what they do, no matter what they're going through, no matter what you see, you know what I'm saying? All right, the true purpose of people like me, the Light Lords, we're here to re-manifest a consciousness. You see what I'm saying? Help bring this consciousness in. Help bring the consciousness of the cosmic creatures and the cosmic body and the higher self and Allah and God, all of this into physical reality through the age of Aquarius. It's bringing heaven on earth. Let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Our daily bread. Because without knowledge, you can't do anything. See, when you read these sacred texts and you study science, you have to go to the source. You have to bring it all back. You have to retrace everything back to the source of what people are talking about. You know what I'm saying? So when the Christ says, let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Which means if you're in a state of guilt, if you're in a state of forgiving, you know what I'm saying, of forgiveness is what I'm trying to say. If you're in a state of giving, of just constantly giving wholeheartedly and pure-heartedly to yourself and others, because you can see yourself as others, then you're automatically forgiven for things that you do wrong, because you're the one that's forgiving yourself. If you're able to forgive others, what you have to see is that those others are you. And the sacred text also says, do not judge lest you be judged in the way that you will be judged, that you judge others. Do not judge. A lot of people be like, nigga, I ain't finna judge you. Nah, that don't make sense, because you always judge, and you have to judge. You have a conscious mind. You have a brain. The brain is made to judge. You are a judge. The infinite cosmic being is the judge of all judges. So you have to judge, literally. You cannot not judge. Okay? There's no such thing as non-judgmental. See what I'm saying? There's a thing as allowing, but that's a judgment. There's a thing as allowing things to happen, but that's still a judgment. There's still a judgment of how things should go. It says, do not judge, lest ye be judged in the way that ye judge. Meaning that if you judge somebody, judge them in a way that you would judge yourself. Judge people in a way that you would judge yourself, because as you're going throughout your daily life and you're judging yourself, if you judge others the wrong way, then that reality doesn't line up. That's called destructive interference. And what's going to happen is you're going to get shown things about yourself in such a way as if the way you judge that other person, the universe is judging you in that same way. In that same way that you judge that other person, or if you judge someone wrongfully, basically, if you judge someone in a way that you wouldn't judge yourself, the universe is going to judge you in that way. And that's you know what I'm saying, it's just gonna make situations, you're just gonna go through more pain that you don't even have to go through. You know what I'm saying? So this is quantum thinking. This is quantum reality. It's very, very simple once you begin to reprogram your subconscious mind and begin to actually live like this and see life like this every single day. Not saying you're not gonna fuck up. I'm saying you're not gonna feel limited sometimes, because you have to break through barriers of subconscious programming and reprogram your DNA. Reprogram your genetic makeup. You have to study your astrological programming, and which is just your super ego, which is a part of the cosmic being that you actually are, your higher self. And you have to study this and look into your demons, which are your squares, quincunxes, and oppositions. Your squares, quincunxes, and oppositions are your demons most of the time. And your angels are your trines, conjunctions, and sextiles. Yeah. So Look through your natal chart. Study who you actually are. Study what quantum reality is. Study quantum mechanics. Study the 5 sciences. Study astrology, biology, epigenetics, quantum physics, and grounding. Like right now, I'm grounding right now. Right now, I'm connecting with nature. I'm connecting with source. I'm connecting with the consciousness because my mind is on it. I must see it. I must perceive it. I must bring it into my reality for me to experience it. See what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter what happens. If you fail forward, you get back up and you keep the knowledge. No matter what you do, you keep that knowledge. You see what I'm saying? No matter what you do. Now, to recap it all, quantum just means a distinct analogous comparison between things. The word quantum just means a distinct analogous comparison between physical quantities, between different physical things, between different things that you can perceive, period. Different thoughts. Everything comes from thought, is thinking, is imagining. The divine being, the manipulator of all of existence, the most intelligent consciousness that you truly are, has manipulated everything into existence, has manipulated infinite consciousness into many different forms. And so this is the consciousness that we need to connect with. We're slowly connecting to this consciousness. We are slowly, through the cycles of the astrological ages and through our development of technology and us being more conscious of what happens during these cycles and building things to get to that level, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, then us doing that, it actually connects us, you know what I'm saying? It's going to connect us to that realm. It's going to connect us to that consciousness. It don't matter like what happens. Just always know and keep faith that you will be and experience that and, and connect with that. Because like I said, even if you don't have all of the facts, you're going to attract the facts. Now, whatever you put your passion into, whatever you put your energy into, the universe is going to make a way for it to happen, period. Whatever you put your passion into, the universe is going to make a way for it to happen. If you put all of your passion in there, you're going to fail sometimes, fail forward. It's just a part of the strengthening of your character. It's a part of the strengthening of your character. You're going to go through some bull crap. You know what I'm saying? So just stay that quantum being. Stay that highly intelligent. Intelligence starts at a base. Intelligence is not measured by an age or by, different, measurements of that a lot of people have. Age is measured by consciousness. Age is measured by how aware you are of yourself. What simple things can you do to change your life? What simple things can you do today? Think about it. Jamashak is here to live out and teach higher wisdom as an example for the collective consciousness. And I say today that we will connect to our quantum cosmic body, our astrological energy through the teachings of the most honorable melanated mystic immortal Babaji and carbonation. We have the 5 sciences. We have the state of heaven here. Heaven is now coming to earth. Heaven has always been coming to earth. Heaven has always been on earth. Jesus the Christ, or the Christ consciousness, or Yeshua, whatever you want to call it, his name, and other messiahs have already stated that the will that is done in heaven has to be done on earth. If you bind things in heaven, and you read the sacred text, it says, if you bind things on earth, then it will be bound in heaven. If you bound things in heaven, it will be bound on earth. If you unbind them on earth, that will be bound in heaven. If you unbind them in heaven, that would be unbound on earth. So it's correspondence. This is constant correspondence. This is the age of Aquarius. This is the age where if you don't know this, then you're not gonna make it. If you don't know this, then you're not gonna be living fruitfully. You're not really gonna be living fruitfully. You're not really gonna be living how you wish to live. No matter where you go, there you are. So attain that consciousness. This is what I am here to teach. This is what I am here to do. Spread the video, share, subscribe, like, do whatever you want to do. But no matter what you do, keep the knowledge. I love myself. Peace.